Your brain is deleting 70% of everything you study right now, and you have no idea it is happening. While you are sitting there rereading your notes for the third time, your neurons are literally erasing the information faster than you can highlight it. But here is what nobody tells you. The smartest people in the world are not smarter than you. They just discovered something about how memory actually works. Once you understand this biological glitch, you can learn anything in half the time starting today. Let me tell you what is really going on inside your head. Every single time you try to learn something new, your brain asks one question. Does this information help me survive? If the answer is no, your brain throws it in the trash. It does not matter how many times you read that textbook or watch that tutorial. If you are not sending the right survival signals, your neurons will not build permanent connections. This is why you can binge an entire course and remember nothing a week later. Psychologists call this the illusion of competence. Because you recognize the words on the page, you think you know them. But you don't. You were just renting space in your short-term memory, and the lease expired. Here's the biggest mistake everyone makes. They think learning happens during input, reading the book, watching the video, taking the notes. But neuroscience shows that learning does not happen during input. Learning happens during output. Every time you force your brain to retrieve information without looking at the source, you are constructing new neural highways. This is not a metaphor. When you struggle to remember something, your brain releases a growth factor that wraps your neurons in a substance called myelin. Myelin is like insulation on an electrical wire. The thicker it gets, the faster the signal travels. Comfort equals no growth. Struggle equals myelin. So here's what you do instead. You read one page. Then you close the book. You take out a blank piece of paper and you write down everything you can remember without peeking. This will feel horrible. Your brain will scream at you to just look at the notes because it feels like you are failing. But that feeling of strain is not failure. That is the feeling of your neurons physically growing. And you have to time this correctly. Your brain has a built-in self-destruct timer called the forgetting curve. To beat it, think of a campfire. If you dump all the wood on at once, the fire burns out. But if you add one log every few hours, the fire stays strong all night. Don't study the same thing 5 times in an hour. Review it once today, once tomorrow, and once next week. Spacing is what moves memory from temporary storage into permanent architecture. Now, none of this matters if your hardware is broken. Your brain is a biological organ. It runs on chemistry and electricity. First, you need to fix your brakes. Most people study for 20 minutes and then scroll on their phone. This is a disaster. When you look at social media, you blast your brain with dopamine and new information. This interferes with the consolidation of what you just learned. A true break means staring at a wall, walking around, or closing your eyes. You need to let your brain idle so the cement can dry. Second, you need sleep. Sleep is not rest. Sleep is when the save button is hit. During deep sleep, your brain washes out toxic waste and moves data from fragile short-term holding into the long-term vault. If you study for 6 hours and sleep for 4, you just deleted your own work. Finally, if you want to learn something deeply, you must teach it. This is called the protege effect. When you learn with the intention of teaching someone else, your brain organizes the information differently. It looks for gaps. It simplifies complexity. You don't need a classroom. Teach your dog. Teach the wall. Record a voice memo explaining the concept to a 12-year-old. If you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it yet. Here's your new system. 1. Identify the core 20% of the topic that matters most. 2. Study in short bursts and test yourself without looking. 3. Take boring breaks, no phones. 4. Sleep 8 hours to save the file. Learning is not magic. It is mechanics. Stop highlighting. Stop rereading. Start retrieving. If you respect how your brain actually works, it will give you capabilities you never thought possible. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?